Killer Inn is the latest modern audience Square Enix game on the block, and I recently talked about it for the first time because gamers are absolutely destroying its awful character designs, its mid-looking gameplay, and really everything about this experience. But I actually found out that it was in beta, where you can go to Steam, you can request a key, you can get into the game, and the player counts and really all of the interest in this game is abysmal. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, just yesterday, I talked about Killer Inn for the first time. That video will be linked down below, but it is getting destroyed online because whenever gamers see awful looking character designs and mediocre looking gameplay or initial trailers that companies try to use to promote their product and it doesn't have any gameplay, we instantly become defensive because we have seen time and again games that might have potential be absolutely wrecked and ruined by modern audience slopification. We know that Square Enix is a company that has tried to chase modern audiences and global audiences. Over the years, they have made some pretty drastic changes to some of their core series to try and do this, which hasn't worked out very well for them. But just a couple of months ago, we heard that there were many firings happening at Square Enix. A lot of people that had to do with the Western branch of the company were fired, they were let go. Maybe that will lead to some change down the road, but as we know, sometimes games are in development for a decade, and companies aren't just going to drop every single game simply because they don't know if it is going to be a massive success or a massive failure. Look at what happened with something like Horizon Hunter's Gathering that was just unveiled a few days ago. That has been in development for 8 years, apparently. Gorilla has full faith in it. That's getting rejected. But Square Enix, yes, is a controversial company. Sometimes they do right, sometimes they do wrong, more often wrong than not. But well, I talked about this game for the first time. If you do not know what it is, I'll read to you the description over on Steam. It says, "A corpse has been found and everyone is a suspect. You have been chosen to participate in a one-night-only game of death, deceit, and deduction. Will you be a wolf or perhaps a lamb with the means to fight back? In deception, we trust." Now, this description, in my opinion, doesn't sound very good, but what is even worse is the trailer that they thought was going to, like, resonate with people. I don't really know why they thought this would be the case. I think that this game looks so undercooked. It looks like it has not been in development for very long. It really does have a lot of Saints Row reboot character designs and aesthetics here. And yes, it is going into early access for everybody in just a few days. Who knows when the full-blown release is going to roll around. But as you can see, it says join the Killer Inn beta. I had not requested access because I wasn't going to play it, but I was curious. It made me wonder about it, and you can just go click request access. It will instantly grant it to you, meaning anybody who wants to play this game can right now at this point, and that means that there is the Killer Inn beta Steam charts, which are looking terrible. Now, let's start out with the store data for the charts. It's number 534 in top wish lists, number 343 in wish list activity, and 5,556 followers is all this game could muster, which I suppose is slightly higher than games like Horizon Hunter's Gathering or even Reloaded, which comes out in a couple of days. But we have seen so many games with significantly higher followings fail. Followers can mean success if it's got enough. Something like Tales of the Shire had like 45,000 followers and that peaked at 6,000 players. It doesn't necessarily mean that, oh my gosh, it's going to double or triple or quadruple the amount of followers. Generally, it is significantly lower in the follower count, unless a game, of course, blows up and goes viral, though Again, like I mentioned, you can request access. You could gain access to the game right now, I suppose, if you hate yourself and really want to play this. But it currently has 373 players in game. The 24-hour peak is 720, and the all-time peak was actually 7 months ago at 1051, because they had another like test period previously, and that is when it reached its peak. Otherwise, it has not gotten up to that point. Again, this is terrible. And sure, there are plenty of people who don't want to play the beta of something. They're not going to want to play the early access of something. They just wait for the full release to roll around. But there's virtually no interest in this game. I mean, even amongst my audience, people were commenting, "Oh, I've never heard of this game until you mentioned it," or "I haven't heard of this game up until a couple of days ago." Yeah, because first of all, Square Enix is not marketing this game. But second of all, if they did market this game, it would just get destroyed. It doesn't look like a title anybody is really going to want to play or anybody is really going to resonate with. And we know in games like this, you need a pretty large audience, because we've seen this happen with a lot of like horror slash slasher multiplayer games, ones that are similar or copy the same like formula and format as something like Dead by Daylight. If you can't get people in game, you can't play the game. You need a pretty big audience for people to actually be able to get into matches and enjoy the experience, and I just don't think that that is really going to happen here. And when the full release rolls around, it'll have an all-time peak of 2,000 or 3,000 players. But again, this is Square Enix. We are talking about a couple thousand people is not going to be worth it to them. And it seems that this is going to be another game that they put out. Maybe it's around for like a year and then they shut it down because it's no longer financially viable for them. And like I mentioned in my previous video on this game, it will be linked down below, but there are lots of discussions happening in their Steam forums where people are saying things like, "Yay, more modern audience slop, fire all of your Western consultants and employees, 100% dead on arrival." And over on X, there are lots of threads saying, "Yeah, these characters look like garbage." But what is most funny to me is the level of interaction they're getting on their YouTube trailer upload. The Square Enix account has 361,000 subscribers. It says it's got 9.3K views, 224 likes to 1.1K dislikes. So not even a lot of people are interacting with this, but clearly there are more people who dislike it than there are that like it, responding, interacting, leaving comments. Looks like Square Enix didn't leer from Forspoken. I can't believe I'm just leering about this game right now. What happened to the Square Enix of old? They sold out. Where's the modern audience, huh, Square Enix? Are you going to shut this game down in a year? So yeah, there's just a lot of negativity surrounding this right now, which isn't really shocking to see. So I'll be following this. I'll be keeping my eye on this. I'm curious in a few days to see how it does. If it gets a lot of interaction, maybe people will show up to support the modern audience Square Enix game, but I highly doubt it. Though that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.